Oh, God. Yeah.
Greetings, terrestrials! Today is March 4th, 2021, and these are some strange times indeed. Welcome, one and all terrestrials alike, to Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I am, of course, your host, Cliff McCallister, the czar of the bizarre. Every week on this show, we take your calls to hear about the unexplained, the strange, the bizarre. Cryptids, ghosts, extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, water babies, incidents of spontaneous human combustion, you name it. We want to hear about it. If you can't explain it, call in, share your stories right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. It is a public service we offer out to the world to blast these messages out into the cosmos. For all people to hear, for all people to understand, there are strange things happening out there. And there are things that simply cannot be explained. This is your public forum. This is your opportunity to share what you have experienced with the world. Call in right here, Strange Times Indeed, with Cliff McCallister. And we will listen. We will listen. This is a safe space. I offer no judgment. Only God can judge us. So who am I to say? Call in and share your stories of the unexplained. There we go. Call in. That's even Craig. Subscribe to Tier 1 for 7 months. Now that is a dedicated fan, if not the technical director on this program. Steven, thank you for calling in, or more
thank
so.
Thank you, Cliff. Oh, thank you,
Stephen. How are you feeling? Oh, goodbye.
Oh, I'm feeling good. I was actually trying to type call in !call in into the chat, and then now the Zoom link got posted at the chat thanks to our bot Stream Elements.
So are you meaning to tell me this is like a cheat code? If somebody wants to call into the show, they have something they want to call in about?
Yeah, if that's helpful to think of it as a cheat code, there's several cheat codes we have on Twitch with an exclamation point. As a matter of fact, the next time someone calls, I'm going to have another cheat code being released upon the next caller that's going to be very special for you to know about.
Wow, very special benefits for our callers, I assume. Some sort of, what is this? Will they suddenly get like universal health care just for them?
I think we might need to stream for a few more months for that. We'll figure it out. That's what we hope.
Ultimately, a goal of Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, not only to uncover the strange and the bizarre, but to get universal health care for all of our viewers.
Yeah.
Because we care about them so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had some health care done recently, so I appreciate that.
Yes, well, that is why I asked, how are you doing? I know some of our dedicated viewers, remember we took a week off because you had your surgery.
Well, so
it's only fair that they know how you're doing.
I just started putting weight on my heel, 4 weeks away from being able to put weight on the front of my foot. So I guess I start physical therapy at that time, so I do it right. I've never heard of it, but there's this thing in your foot called the Liz Frank joint.
The 90s illustrator with all the rainbows and the unicorns?
No, that's Lisa Frank.
Hello, Barefoot and 52.
Hey, Barefoot and 52. But so like, imagine that like your toes are almost as long as your fingers.
A terrible thing to imagine.
Oh yeah. Acquire healthcare anywhere in the universal. Yeah, that does sound amazing. So anyways, there's like 4 bones that are here together, like in your toes. Like, but it's in the midfoot where like the knuckles of your toes actually are. And so 2 of those bones needed to be screwed together diagonally for me.
Wow.
So I have a screw, and it's
a screw inside of your own foot, Stephen.
oh, whoa.
An applaud for you. A
Thank
terrible
you.
thing to imagine. Yes, terrible to imagine your toes as big as your fingers.
What I mean, it's true. It's, you know, it's just like that's the tip of your finger. Those little nuggets on the end.
I mean, this is incredible. One, here we are. Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Who would have thought the strangest thing of all was our own bodies?
They can get pretty strange.
And even stranger, our own technical director, the person who pushes the buttons and pulls the levers, in a way, a Frankenstein himself now.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like getting in and out of amusement parks with metal in my foot, or airports.
Yes, you can take off your shoe, but you can't take off your foot.
Not yet, at least. Who knows? With universal health care, maybe I could take off my foot and put that
a one that you screw on its
just
own.
put that through the conveyor belt with my suitcase.
You don't just have a screw in your foot. Your foot is a screw.
Maybe so. I mean, I could get it out if I want to, but I don't know. Leave it in.
I think that's probably best for your recovery.
We'll see. I'll ask the doctor.
Well, Stephen, thank you so much for checking in with us. Glad to hear you're doing well. Yes. Thanks for putting together these shortcuts. We got an applause earlier from our friend Pandafoxcomedy. And that in itself, activating that, a cheat code to life, right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Let's get into our top stories tonight. You may remember some breaking news from last week. At the top of our program, we discussed a sighting of a UFO that was reported by a commercial airline pilot. This cylindrical UFO flew overhead of his own aircraft as this commercial airliner is flying to Phoenix, Arizona. They're going over New Mexico. And of course, New Mexico, a UFO hotspot in and of itself, home to Roswell, New Mexico, and that infamous crash in 1952. So this thing flies overhead. This was one of our top stories last week. An update, a crucial update. As of this week, the FBI has confirmed this event. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is aware. They are well aware of what is going on. They are very knowledgeable about this unidentified flying object, a cylindrical object flying over this commercial aircraft. If the FBI knows about it, we are getting closer and closer to disclosure. Closer and closer to disclosure, people. Because of the Stimulus Act, the last stimulus bill we got, when that one passed, still waiting for this other one, but when that last one passed, they put in a little sticky note. They said, here's the deal. You've got 180 days to disclose what you know about unidentified flying objects. The Department of Defense is supposed to make this disclosure, not the FBI, not the CIA, but the Department of Defense. So where are we looking at this from a potential threat level? Which, to be clear, our statement here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister is maybe we shouldn't look at it from a defense setting. I think going out and attacking these extraterrestrials or these unidentified flying crafts could end disastrously for humankind. But that's the department that's giving us the information. They've got 180 days to do it. June 25th, the deadline, so less than 180 days now. We're getting closer and closer. And now you see they're leaking this information out there. A UFO is sighted by a commercial airline pilot, someone who does not typically disclose this kind of thing, but it is reported to be very common among the profession. makes this disclosure, and now the FBI is confirming that this happened. Troubling things. Well, not really troubling. Really great things. If we are getting closer and closer to finding out that these extraterrestrial life forms exist, these unidentified flying objects are not just something crazy going on in our own heads, how great would that be? Now, here is some other interesting news. For those of you who remember, we've recently been looking very closely at the possibility of intelligent life under the sea. Well, just recently, life was found 260 kilometers below the Antarctic. These folks, they were drilling down to get some mud samples beneath the ice. They drilled 260 kilometers down, and they get into this little under ice cavern filled with water, and they discover life forms down there. Life forms surviving there, just a simple kind of like sponges and mushrooms, but existing so far down that there's no real like plankton surviving down there to eat. This life is being sustained without any of what we would typically consider essential for this life form to exist. And if that's happening underneath our Antarctic, who's to say there aren't more intelligent beings who evolved underwater from the beginning, never coming out from the top beneath our seas? Very interesting stuff. Hey, here's another top story as we get even closer to disclosure. A Cleveland Browns quarterback sighted a UFO. He reported this in a tweet. Just recently. He says, this is Blake Mayfield of the Cleveland Browns.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
He saw a UFO?
Yes.
Oh.
Are you a Cleveland Browns fan, Steven?
No, not really, but they've been awful for a while, and then they had a really good end of their season. They made the playoffs and then beat a team in the playoffs. It's the first playoff win that the Browns have had in like multiple decades, I think, as a team.
Well, good for them.
So now, maybe the aliens are trying to see what's up with this quarterback.
They're gonna draft him for the Space League.
That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna watch it if they let me.
This is what Baker Mayfield said on his official Twitter account, verified account at Baker Mayfield. He said that sent this out just yesterday, said, almost 100%. Em and I just saw a UFO drop straight out of the sky on our way home from dinner. We stopped and looked at each other and asked if either of us saw it. Very bright ball of light going straight down out of the sky towards Lake Travis. Anybody else witness this? Baker Mayfield, a popular quarterback. It's not just crazy talk to admit that these things exist, that they're out there.
Towards Lake Travis.
Yes.
Towards a body of water.
Yes. Oh my goodness, Stephen. I did not even consider that when I read the tweet. We have been talking about this. We spent 2 whole weeks talking about this. Unidentified flying objects being sighted over, going into, or coming out of water. The source of intelligent life being beneath our own seas. And the possibility that these lakes may exist portals to these deeper or even perhaps out of space civilizations using the undersea as a base. And here it is, Baker Mayfield reporting a UFO that he and his wife witnessed on their way out of dinner flying towards a lake. What's it going to do if not delve beneath the surface and find a whole new world? Just ploop right into an advanced civilization stronghold beneath our waters. It could be happening right now, and the closer we get to disclosure, it seems more and more that these unidentified flying objects may have connections beneath our waters. The water babies, as they are called by Ivan T. Sanderson, a man who wrote about this 50 years ago. We just spent 2 weeks talking about it. You can see our past episodes and get all the information about water babies and intelligent life underwater by heading over to the Met Comedy Night YouTube channel. You'll find all our old episodes there. If you've ever missed a week, you can see it right there. If you want to see some of our past callers, you can find that right there on the Met Comedy Night YouTube channel. Wow, so many top stories tonight. People popping off in the chat. All right. Great news. One last top story for the night. And remember, we are taking calls all night tonight. And by all night, I mean for the full hour of the program. On Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, we took our last 2 weeks, like I said, doing an in-depth look into invisible resonance and intelligent life underwater. But that means that over the course of this time, we haven't had an open space for callers to call in and share their stories, to tell us about their encounters with the unexplained. And so we've got that link up tonight. We've got the phone lines open all night long. If you've ever experienced something you can't quite explain, please give us a call right here, Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. And of course, as the Stephen Craig put, there's a little cheat code. If you should ever need the link and not quite remember what it is, put in ! Call in. Type that in, and a robot will tell you what link to follow. And you can join us right here and share your stories on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Now, our final news story of the night. And then we will get into any calls if anyone should call in. Our final news story of the night. Were you aware? The ranch right next to Area 51, the elusive base, where it is supposed that the Roswell, New Mexico crash, where the spacecraft was transported and kept in secret at Area 51, well, the ranch right next door with the famous extraterrestrial mailbox, the mailbox covered in stickers that frequently gets mail sent to extraterrestrials. That ranch is for sale. You can go right down and get prime property as close as humanly possible to Area 51. This ranch is going to cost you, however, $4.1 million. Unfortunately, though, it would be a boon to the program to own this property. We do not quite have $4.1 million in the coffers here at Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll get a Patreon going, or maybe we'll, make money somehow. Maybe we'll sell a t-shirt or two. It could happen. All right, and now the bot's going off with all sorts of stuff in the chat, but it's not about the bots in the chat. We want to hear from you, the viewers. What strange and unexplained things have you experienced? And perhaps a potential call-in topic for the night, if you, the viewer, if you could own the ranch next to Area 51, if you could pay $4.1 million and get that land, what would you do with it? Call in, let us know. Well, I suppose that's the end of the record over here. I don't know about you guys, but I am all over the social media right now. If you want to give me a follow, if you want Strange Times Indeed 24/7, you can get that access to Cliff McCallister by following me out in the world. You can do that by following me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. Let's get those links up there, Steven. There we go. If you want to follow me, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bazaar. Get it any night of the week, anytime you need it. I'm on Instagram at Strange Times Indeed. Same thing for TikTok. I'm having a bunch of fun on the TikTok. And on Twitter, for premium retweets and all that stuff, at Strange T Indeed. Twitter won't let you have a long name, but the other ones will, so you can find me at Strange Times Indeed on Instagram and TikTok. Strange T Indeed on Twitter for your unfettered access to the Czar of the Bazaar, Cliff McCallister. Now, let's say you've got a story you want to share with us on the air, but you think it might be too crazy to be believed. Well, one, there's no such thing. There's no such thing, so feel free to call in. Don't feel like your story is too wild for the people to hear it. Oh, here we go. We are getting a caller. Let's bring them on. All right. Here we go. A caller for tonight's program. Let me get my headphones in.
I think I'm having some trouble with my audio.
I can hear you.
Huh.
Can you hear us? Hello?
Sorry, I think I'm having a problem with my audio.
Okay.
We will keep talking.
Yes.
Okay.
We
can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can
hear you.
I think the problem. I think I got to put my headphones on real quick.
Okay. Put your headphones on.
Here we go. It might also be if you have sound coming in from Twitch, you're going to be hearing both of us.
Yes, close Twitch. Maybe you can hear us on the Zoom.
There we go. Oh, we're getting headphones. That's what's going on.
Perfect. Wow.
Sorry, I'm having a terrible time with my audio right now.
That's okay. We will get it settled. We are devoted to hearing from our callers at Strange Times Indeed.
They mess with you sometimes, Cliff. Now they're messing with your callers.
That's right. Perhaps this caller has something so important to share that they want them to be silenced.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Sorry, I'm having terrible technology issues. The only way I can hear you is if I have your stream on, and then that would create really bad audio for you guys, I think.
Can you hear? You can hear us? Because
I can, but I'm afraid that are you guys getting reverb right now?
No. But it's delayed for you.
Okay. Oh, cool. Well, then this might be working.
Oh, this is working.
Great.
This is working. Yes. Okay.
Can we bring you on screen?
Onto our screen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, here it goes.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. An incredible space. And what is your? Yes, thank you for calling in. And could you go ahead and introduce yourself to the callers if you'd like?
So I'm Pandafox Gaming, or Pandafoxcomedy.
Oh yes, Pandafox.
Caller number 2.
Joining us. Caller number 2. Oh, what is this? Is our new feature, Steven? That's the thing?
I can count.
Oh, it's in the chat. We've got a new special feature, Pandafox. This is something Steven set up. It's going to start keeping track of how many callers we've had over the course of the show. So when people call in, it'd be like, oh, you're caller 37 that's ever called in the show. Right now, you're caller number 2, but that's because we didn't do a count of all the callers before this episode. Anyway, thanks for that. Go ahead. What would you like to talk about tonight?
Oh, well, definitely thanks. First, I want to say thanks for having me on. I'm a huge fan of the show, longtime watcher, first-time contributor, I guess.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to have a first-time caller in.
Well, I guess I just wanted to tell you guys about this experience I had when I was camping a number of years ago, and it's essentially the thing that got me interested in the paranormal, and it's just a really powerful, impactful memory that kind of got me into all this
Incredible. We want to hear about it.
All right. Well, it's pretty. It has a lot of cliches in it, but I guess that's why these things happen is because I must have been maybe 10 years old or so, and we were camping in like southern Illinois near a place called Bass Lake. Middle of nowhere, tiny little Stillwater lake. The whole place smelled kind of weird. But the thing is that we were camping together, me, my dad, his best friend, these two amazing gay guys that, you know, helped to raise me and my brothers, just, you know, and we'd been doing this for many, many years. And we would all sit around the campfire, do our thing with making amazing food and stuff like that. And this would carry on into the wee hours of the night. But one day, one of the crew, who was kind of known for being a little silly, you know, kind of the guy that joked around and everything, he walked off to go, you know, to go take care of his business. And even though he's kind of a serious guy, well, he was joking. He liked to joke and have a good time, but he didn't like to prank people or anything. That wasn't what he did. But all of a sudden, he starts screaming, "Guys, look up at the sky!" And me and my brother, we thought like maybe there's a helicopter, or maybe like there's a really cool like sky formation, because we'd been camping before and we saw something that looked a lot like the aurora borealis, right? It's a very rare phenomenon, but it doesn't always happen there. And so we thought it was like something cool. We didn't think it would be something life-changing. And it turned out it was this strange kind of semi-pulsating light that just sat there in the sky for a few moments, but it was kind of moving, but like in a straight sort of position. But it didn't really, you know, there wasn't any other tail lights. It was just this very strange, ominous, glowing. And it kind of drifted for a while. We were all watching it. It didn't, you know, we've been camping so much that, and we all are big fans of science in my house. So we all know how the stars and how like different planes and stuff like that looks. It didn't look anything like anything we'd ever seen, even to this day. And then it was there for a few moments and it just disappeared. It was just gone. And I mean, it's a really simple, dumb story maybe to some, but to this day, me and my brothers, it's one of those very important memories that always makes you kind of question the narrative. And
absolutely.
It's always made me want to know more. And things like when you talk about your stories, or like there was a story of the Chilean government or something that reached out because they had all these strange things that had happened in the sky. And it's just all, it's just something that it's my own personal experience.
Yeah, that is, and that's incredible, because this is why we have the show, to make these kind of connections with folks and to get these stories out there. Here's a question I've always had with it, because I've never encountered something like this. When you say that it disappeared entirely, would you say it disappeared like it almost looked like it like flew off really fast, or it was like a light turning off?
I remember having the idea that it was something like it looked like it was like it had a lot of speed, but at the same time it's like something in Star Trek, like it's where when it goes and does its faster than light thing, right, it just looks like it's just gone, I guess that is so mysterious, because if it was like a weather balloon, it would have like slowly drifted off or something, it would have had a certain us humans, we're good at, if nothing else, we're good at pattern recognition, or most of us. But it violated its own pattern. It was just gone.
And was this happening at night? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. It was pretty late at night, maybe 1 or 2 in the morning or something like that.
But even when it's that late at night, if you've got something in the air that's got a light on it and the light goes out, you can usually still make out the shape of something up there, just because like you've being up that late, you've developed that kind of like night vision. You can at least recognize the shape. If it's gone, there's nothing left when the light goes out.
Exactly. And it was a night that was really beautiful. There was a ton of stars out. So, sometimes when you have kind of that ambient light, there was definitely a glow. So, if there was an outline, if whatever light source on a hang glider died out, we would have been able to see some more details, but the light was bright enough that it really obscured the shape of most of like what was going on. And then it just disappeared in a flash, or not a flash. It just turned into a void. It was just like there was nothing, like it was never there at all.
Right. And what's fascinating about this too, we've been talking about the past 2 weeks, and like you said, you're a longtime watcher. You're probably aware these connections between unidentified flying objects and life beneath the sea. This is happening at a lake in Illinois.
The plot thickens for sure. It's amazing. I guess that's another part of the pattern, isn't it?
Absolutely. You not only have witnessed an unidentified flying object, but it's over a lake. It could very well be these water babies.
Well, I guess I met one in a way. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, Panda Fox, anything else you'd like to tell us about or talk about tonight? Oh, here's a question before you go. If you could buy the ranch next to Area 51, what would you do with it?
I would definitely, I would maybe turn it into like a rival observatory. The last thing that they would want at Area 51 would be a giant observatory, right?
Right.
So I'd probably do that. Just if we all had the ability to fulfill our dreams, it would.
There you go.
Definitely be my little way to dig back at the government for hiding things for so long.
Yeah, stick it to the man there.
That's good.
We're all in favor of this strategy.
Well, definitely thank you guys so much for having me on. It's been really great talking about that story. I really don't talk about it very much because, it's a great way to weird people out maybe, but this is the environment for that.
Some would say it alienates them, but yes, this is the perfect environment. This is the place to share those stories.
All right, well, definitely thank you so much. Have a great night, and thanks for your time, Cliff, and your staff.
Yes, thank you so much, Panda Fox. Go ahead if you're watching us on Twitch, you can find him in the chat, Pandafoxcomedy. Feel free to give him a follow. Thanks for calling in, pal.
All right, thanks. It was awesome.
Thank you. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the program. Oh, there we go. All right. Steven, how about that? Always great to get a call here on the show. Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Of course, a call-in show where you, just like our friend Pandafoxcomedy, can call in and share your experiences with the unexplained extraterrestrial crafts. You know what he said that really resonated with me, Steven? We knew it was going to be something cool. We didn't know it was going to be life-changing. That's a pull quote. That's an incredible... Remember that when you tell the story to other people. And please share your stories with other people when you experience the unexplained. That's why this show exists. So we can talk about it. So we can revel in the bizarreness. We'll be right back with more of your calls and more things to talk about right here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Steven, let's go ahead and roll a quick commercial break.
Hello, everybody. We are the Comedy Pigs. We're practicing a game we call Scenes from a Hat. Wrong things to say at a eulogy.
I am so gonna miss Mr. I'm just gonna really miss this guy here. He's a good guy.
He just borrowed like $100 from me like Thursday, so just wondering who's gonna pay now that he's dead.
Things you can shout at a football game, but not in bed.
Well, you could have drove a dump truck through that gap.
Yeah, we're dealing with a bunch of overpaid prima donnas here.
Man, his brother and his dad are way better at doing that than he is.
Bye.
See you at the show.
Right. Thank
See you at
you,
the
Comedy
shows.
Pigs.
Thank you, Comedy
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, Comedy
Hey,
Pigs.
you're watching at home. Greetings, terrestrials. Today is March 4th, 2021. And these are some strange times indeed. You're watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I, of course, am your host, Cliff McCallister, the czar of the bizarre. Every week on this program, we take your calls to hear about your experiences with the unexplained, the bizarre, ghosts, extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings. We want to hear from you about your experiences just before the break. We had a great call from our friend Pandafoxcomedy, an experience that he said he knew it would be cool. He didn't know it would be life-changing. That's the kind of stories you hear here on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. So here. Give us a watch every Thursday, 9 o'clock, right here on twitch.tv/MetComedyNight. Just look around the browser window. This is the place to be. Every Thursday, 9 o'clock, you can see Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Fridays, you got improv. Friday night, 9 o'clock, tomorrow night. Don't miss the Comedy Pigs performing their signature short-form improvisational comedy. And if you like what we do here, you can always support us by heading over to marylandensemble.org/donate. Now, here's some incredible news, folks. Some incredible news. This is an exclusive for our viewers, especially those of you interested in what's going on at the Maryland Ensemble Theater. The next production in their main stage season of surprises is coming out this month. Do you know what it is? Have you heard of it? Do you follow the Maryland Ensemble Theater on social media? Well, you better. And you can hear about exciting projects like Something Brilliant, The Rise and Fall of the Illumination Cult, a new documentary from the Maryland Ensemble Theater that examines the Illumination cult that met in Frederick, Maryland in 2007. They were very big. There were protesters. It was all over the place. This is the story of that cult featuring the original members who were featured in the leaked videotape of one of their meetings. And we've got all sorts. You would be so thrilled as viewers of Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister to learn that on this program, this film features your favorite, the czar, the bizarre, Cliff McCallister. I do a little role in the film. You get to see a little bit of the czar, the bizarre right there on the big screen. And Stephen, I actually believe we have a clip, a little exclusive clip we can give people a look at.
We do have a clip, and thanks, Glass Delusion, for the follow. Also, my gosh.
Yes, that name showed up backwards on my screen because we have it mirrored, and I could not pronounce it. It really threw me for a loop for a minute.
It's mirrored for you. But also, I mean, Pandafoxcomedy just said, I'm a fan for life.
Yes.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I love to hear that.
So are you ready for this clip, this like...
Yes, let's take a little look here. This is a little teaser clip, an exclusive for Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister viewers. You get an exclusive little sneak peek, just a little bit, of Something Brilliant, the rise and fall of the Illumination cult. What you're seeing on screen here, footage from the film. Now, there will be sound and audio with that when the film actually releases, but we're not giving you that yet. You got to pay the $24, and you might think, oh, whoa, does that seem high for a digital rental or a digital ownership? No, it's the price of a theater ticket here in Frederick, Maryland. And these theaters got to stay afloat somehow.
And
so
we don't charge for
support.
comedy night anymore.
Yes, exactly. We don't charge for comedy night. You get this free content here on twitch.tv/McComedyNight every week. And this is
Buy a main
premium
stage
stuff.
ticket.
People are sharing their life-changing experiences here, and we charge you nothing. We don't even ask you to tithe. So thanks for tuning in, each and every one of you here. Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Go ahead and give us a follow.
MarylandEnsemble.org right there is where you can go and find it, I think.
Yes, that information, the official trailer, if you want to see the full trailer, not the full movie, but the full trailer for Something Brilliant, The Rise and Fall of the Illumination Cult, that will be premiering on the Maryland Ensemble Theater's social media channels on Monday, March 8th. So for those of you true fans out there who love the theater, get a sneak peek at the upcoming original main stage production, Something Brilliant, The Rise and Fall of the Illumination Cult, on the Maryland Ensemble Theater's social media channels. That's happening on March 8th. All righty, we are rocking and rolling into the night. Now, I was talking earlier in the program about how I'm on the social medias. You can follow me at Strange Times Indeed on Instagram and TikTok. Strange T Indeed on Twitter. Now, I've been on TikTok a lot recently. I finally gotten my way onto paranormal TikTok, the corner of the For You page that just gives you the weird stuff, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. I don't know if you folks have heard about this, but I went into a little bit of a deep dive, not on the TikTok, but having seen a TikTok referring to this product known as Dye. Dye is supposedly a dye that was developed for photography that could alter, when put through 2 panes of glass in the right way, could warp the visible light spectrum, making it possible to see people's auras and to potentially see into the ethereal realm. Now, this dye, according to TikTok, now this I think is kind of interesting. As the story goes, this dye, Dye, is illegal. It's impossible to get, as one of the more recent stories have told. It became briefly unillegal again around in the mid-2000s, like 2014, I believe. Unillegal became illegal, a legal dye that could be bought and used. But even when it did, the guy who tried to buy it, this researcher, supposedly had to go through some extreme company that you could buy LSD from and stuff, but he would have to have a certain security clearance to get access to the dye. So even though it's legal, you still have to have some sort of high-ranking status to get a hold of it. And then it became illegal again. That's at least the narrative that has gone out. But I, for the life of me, in researching this dye, cannot find any evidence that it's actually illegal. I cannot find a law that bans dye. But if this is a dye that, when applied in the correct way, enables us to see into the ethereal realm, this could be a very powerful tool and a very useful thing to have. And I think if there are any chemists on the program or who are watching the show, if you do a little research, I did it earlier, and I'm not just going to put them out on the board. You can Google it. You can find it. Are the ingredients for dye? And this isn't like a trap. It's not like the ingredients to dye is heroin or something. It's just like chemical names. Chloride, fluoride, and all that jazz. You mix it together. You make this dye. Put it in, and there have been like antique aura goggles that have been made with this. But they're very hard to find because they're antiques. And they're a weird antique. An antique like this, an antique for studying the bizarre, the unexplained, the extraterrestrial, those don't last very long. If the science doesn't pull through, they're not going to hold on to those goggles. Those things are going in the trash. That's weird Uncle Joe's crazy obsession. And so these things are lost to time, but they'll creep up every now and then. You get a hold of one. You may be able to see into the ethereal realm. And if you look up the ingredients to dye and you think you might be able to know a way to make it, and you can make it, and then maybe if there's a costume designer who watches this show or something, let's get some aura goggles. Let's see if we can peer into the ethereal realm, or if you can find evidence that sign and die is actually illegal. Send that in as well before we encourage you to commit a crime. But I cannot find any evidence of it. There's very little about sign and die on the internet, and most of it is just repeating the same story. And then text about there's actual scans from a 1929 textbook. So this also isn't like a creepy pasta thing. It's a real thing that exists, but I don't think it's really illegal. So let's get some sign and die. Let's see if we can figure out what this is and see if we can see in to the ethereal realm. Now, if you can see into the ethereal realm on your own, if you have that powerful sixth sense, if you have opened up your consciousness to a level in which you can see people's auras, you can see into the ethereal realm, then we want to hear from you. We want to hear what's actually going on out there. You've got to call in. You've got to tell us, what are your spirit guides telling you? Call in. Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I'm on weird TikTok. I know people are communing with their spirit guides. They're going out there and experiencing this whole other ethereal realm. Call in. Tell us about it. Don't just save it for the TikTok. Let's have a conversation. Call us on Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. Right here on twitch.tv/McComedy Night every Thursday at 9 o'clock. Steven, how are you doing?
Great.
Great.
Yes.
I kind of reached the end of my thing, and I'm debating where we want to go next. Is there a dream you'd like to share, or do you think that might take a little too long?
It depends. It depends on what page is selected. If you wanted to do a dream journal share,
it's been so long, and I feel like people might benefit from a reminder that here at Strange Times Indeed, we do dream interpretation, and Steven has been practicing lucid dreaming. He is a dream warrior, as some would say. So we occasionally like to check in with Steven and hear about his dreams. I don't think we've done it once in 2021.
This is an old journal. We have not done it yet this year. But if anyone in the
first dream,
from March 4th, 2014 to January 9th, 2015, choose a date, throw it in the chat, month and a day.
All right, those of you viewing, let's get those dates one more time, Steven. Let's see if we can't pick a dream. Between
March 4th, 2014 and January 9th, 2015 was this dream journal. Time that I kept up with my dreams most often was doing as much training as I possibly could to teach myself to lucid dream. So we could try and share one, and I'll just pick a day that's the closest because I did not log every day.
All right, I'm seeing September 18th in the chat.
18. 9/18. Have a 9/1. 9/9. Oh, I have a 9/11. There's 9/11 or
and then it ends.
22. Yeah, after 9/11, it was over a month before I logged. So which one?
Well, 9/11 changed everything, Steven.
Yes, and this was 2014, so it's closer to the real 9/11 than we are now. So.
Yes, closer than we are now, and a mere 13 years later.
That date is important
number.
because I don't know, Barefoot in 52. Maybe that's
you're an anonymous commenter on the internet. Yeah, I'm not sure. Wait, are we talking about 9/11? Is he? Which date are you? Which date do you are you implying is important? Barefoot in 52? 9/11?
9/11 of 2014 or 9/11 of 2001? I want to know.
It's the 13th anniversary of 9/11. A troubling day. Steven, let's hear that dream.
Okay, so
Let's
here we
hear
go.
your 9/11 dream.
And I have not read this, so I haven't proofread my own thing, and sometimes I have a very hard time reading my own handwriting because I scratch it out as quickly as I can in the morning. So here we go.
That's all right. That's why we're here to interpret.
I dreamt that I was spending a lot of time in a Chanticleer mascot uniform. So that was my college mascot actually, at Coastal Carolina University. We were walking around. It seemed like a big day, and I was having a great time. Genevieve had my key for when I was going back to change everyone else. To change as everyone else was going through a security checkpoint or something. We were in, like, for this awesome ride. Oh, that's line. We were in line. My N looks like a K. It was me, T-Rex, AJ, and Olivia, I think. And there were these orange U-shaped raft jet things that you could lay on and they would take off. We were all going to ride together, but that didn't happen. When it first took off, we were already having troubles. T-Rex was sliding off the back, trying to hang on as we couldn't steer. There were these kids that liked across a small creek. Maybe that's hike, to cross a small creek. Or ditch, and they were throwing tennis balls of different colors at us. They kept hitting me. The young boy and the girl were great throwers, but I couldn't hit them at all. They were a small target, really, and eventually I didn't want to give them ammo back, so I hid and let the game end. Tired of getting hit. That ends.
And that's how it ends. Tired of getting hit.
Tired of getting hit.
Stephen, it sounds to me, in taking a moment to interpret this dream, it's almost as if in this situation you've got most of the things you want. You've got a fun job as a mascot, perhaps. You get to go on a ship and blast off and take off, but you're getting attacked. Something is keeping you down and preventing you from really enjoying the experience, and it's throwing balls at you.
Yeah, it definitely went downhill. Like, my experience got ruined. Like I was having such a great day, and this ship was like a part of an amusement park ride that like got very real and kept getting more or less bullied by these kids that were throwing these balls.
Yes, especially your final note. Tired of getting hit. It just sounds odd. You're whatever you're going through at this time in your life is probably something troubling enough that it's also troubling in your dreams, and it feels like it's still hitting you, and you're tired of getting hit. You want a break.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder, because I can't remember the dream specifically, even though I read the journal. I wonder if I was still in the Chanticleer costume as we were entering the ride, and then like everything went haywire. My friend T-Rex was sliding off the back of it, couldn't steer. But then I say that when I throw the balls, they were smaller targets, or they were small targets. I didn't say smaller. So maybe I'm a big target because I'm this big Chanticleer mascot, and then they just want to mess with the guy who's on the up and up.
And you feel like you've got to be true to your school.
Yeah.
You've got that responsibility. You're like, I've got status here. I'm the Chanticleer. And you've got to be true to your school. And that's what's getting you down. the weight of that responsibility.
Maybe I was supposed to juggle the balls.
Maybe.
Barefoot in 52. Maybe I was. No, I've actually have experienced mascotting. I don't know if you know that, Cliff.
Interesting.
And I
As
did
the Chanticleer?
No, I auditioned before I went to school. When I went into orientation, I actually talked to the cheerleading coach at the time saying, hey, I'd love to be the Chanticleer mascot, have like a college job on campus. I've been the Chick-fil-A mascot for 2 years at that time. And so I had experience. I'd already done it, and I wanted to be the Chanticleer mascot. I emailed and got ghosted. They just didn't want to hear from me. I was like, yo, I can audition. Like, I'm not like expecting a job being handed to me. I just mentioned I was interested. And then I was a responsible high school senior at the time, just emailing them, like following up. They told me to email them and no reply. All right, I guess I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, there's really like a line to be the college mascot.
Maybe they already had a guy, or maybe you have to have a cheerleading background, because sometimes.
Oh, I wonder. Yes.
Like, what it seems
you've got to do the high kicks and the spins. But you're a physical theater major. That should be the same thing.
That's what I was thinking. Like, it seemed to me like maybe it was just okay. The person on the cheerleading squad or the dance squad that threw the short stick. You're the Chanticleer for this event today. What it very much seemed like. Even when I was on campus and I saw the Chanticleer, I was like, hey, like all I get is a high five, and I'm like, I would have done so much more. I would have done so much more. I probably would not have been able to juggle in the costume. I tried to juggle in the cow suit. It's very difficult. Can't see where the top of the ball is. Can't catch it.
No. But Steven, it sounds like you've got that school pride. You are also bearing the weight of this school. Exactly. You feel that responsibility. You feel like if some loud bragger tries to put you down and say that your school is lame, you tell him right away. You say, hey, what's the matter, buddy? Ain't you heard of my school? My school is great. It's #1 in the state. You got to be true to your school, Steven.
Yeah.
You've got to be true to your school. Well, Steven, thank you for sharing your dream with us tonight. I hope that you stop getting hit.
Yeah. That seemed like an odd ending for what started out as a great dream. And I keep telling you, I need to journal my current dreams. I had a couple recently, but I didn't journal them, so I can't remember now.
Yes, and I can't interpret it. I can't help you now if you don't give me the fresh dreams.
All right.
All right. Well, Steven, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us tonight.
Thank you, Cliff.
All right, folks. Well, we are nearing the end of our program here in Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I want to thank everybody so much for calling in, but I also want to take a moment, because we have not done this in the show in a while, to see if we can't make contact with somebody beyond the stars through means of experimental meditation. So go ahead, and wherever you're at, sit back, relax, take a nice breath in, breathe out, there you go. Keep on breathing. Calm your thoughts. Empty yourself of your idea of this terrestrial cosmos in which we reside. One by one, that the pieces of your terrestrial home float away until you find yourself in a new space, a new world, a new unfamiliar and welcoming world. May in fact be beneath our own seas for all we're aware. Picture yourself just floating there. No difficulty breathing or anything. Everything's fine. You're just floating. Floating in space. Go ahead and enjoy the moment. Enjoy this peaceful moment in time, in space. Think about what it looks like around you. Does it look like an advanced city, an advanced civilization beneath the waters? Do you see reefs? Do you see coral? What incredible undersea species are just swimming around, floating past you like fish. They're not violent, they're not aggressive, they're just swimming. And so are you. Swimming through the cosmos. Breathe in. Breathe out. Give yourself a nice, good exhale. Let the terrestrial space in which you once existed begin to materialize back around you until you find yourself sitting in the room that you were just in. When you're ready, open your eyes and realize that you are watching Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister. I, of course, have been your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre. Thank you to each and every one of you who tuned in tonight. Thank you to the Maryland Ensemble Theater, the only theater with the guts to put us on the air. Thank you, Pandafoxcomedy, for calling in. Thank you, Stephen, for running the tech and sharing your dreams. For Strange Times Indeed with Cliff McCallister, I've been your host, Cliff McCallister, the Czar of the Bizarre. Stay strange, terrestrials.